Have you ever wondered why people truly decide to help you? Are they moved by your goodness, by your helplessness, your pain, or by some other reason entirely? It may sound bitter to hear, but in the world of power and influence, most help comes not from compassion, but from personal self-interest. Please imagine this. You are standing in front of a door. The door is heavy, made of iron. You knock, you tell your story, you share your pain, you remind them of old relationships, but the door does not open. Then someone else comes along and says just one line. If you open the door, your treasure inside will grow. And click, the lock opens. The world runs less on the heart and more on the liver. And a person's biggest liver is their self-interest. People say, be genuine. People will help. Ask from the heart and you will receive from the heart. But the real game is colder than that. The more precise, more dangerous truth is this. Every person is locked inside their own agenda. Inside every mind, a private calculation keeps running. What will I get? What will increase for me? Where will my position end up? If what you are saying does not show even a hint of benefit for them, then even your most emotional appeal is just noise to them. And if your words hide their win, then even a single short line becomes an opportunity for them. That is power psychology. People who gain power do not cry. They reframe. They turn their need into someone else's benefit. They do not ask for help, they offer an opportunity. But there is another darker twist here. Not every person is driven by money or power. Some people are driven by their grand image. They like to look good, generous, like a savior. They do not help so that you can win. They help so the world can see how great they are. So what does the game say? Do not read the heart, read the drive. Figure out what a person wants. For some people, greed is the key. For others, ego is the key. For some, reputation is the key. And for others, the hunger to appear compassionate is the key. Even the right key is useless in the wrong lock. In the right lock, the right key goes straight in. In today's video, I will tell you how to recognize people's self-interest, how to frame your request so the other person wants to join on their own, how powerful minds are approached, and why emotional appeals often fail at power tables. This is not manipulation, it is an understanding of human mechanisms. This is not deception, it is design. If you want influence, real support, a strong network, and resources, you'll have to learn this game. Because in this world, doors don't open with a simple knock, they open with leverage. If you're ready to learn how to see into people's minds, if you don't want your words ignored, if you want people to actually move for you, then watch this video to the end. And if you want to learn power psychology, dark human behavior, influence strategies, and deep mindset breakdowns, subscribe to the channel right now. Hit the bell icon, because here we don't do surface level. We break through. Let's begin with the key of human self-interest, the one that opens even the heaviest doors. At the beginning of the 14th century, in an Italian city called Lucca, there was a man named Castruccio Castracani, an ordinary soldier who climbed the ladder of swords, betrayal, and blood to become the ruler of the city, and there were many hands behind his power. One of them was the powerful Poxio family. They had elevated him, but once he sat on the throne, he stopped seeing the hands that had been supporting him from behind. Ambition often devours gratitude. In the year 1325, he was busy at war with his greatest enemy, Florence, and meanwhile, a conspiracy was breathing within Lucca. The Poxio family and a few other noble houses had already decided to get rid of him. A rebellion broke out, and the governor he had left behind was killed. Chaos filled the streets, supporters against opponents, and the city stood on the brink of civil war. Just then, an elderly voice spoke up. Stefano of the Di Paggio family, the oldest, calmest, and wisest man. He was not part of this conspiracy. He had already warned them that this path would lead to a river of blood. He compelled both sides to lay down their weapons. He said, not the sword, but dialogue. The family thought wisdom would win over force. Stefano took responsibility. He would speak to Castruccio himself. He would remind him of old ties, count past favors, and ask for mercy. When Castruccio returned, the city was calm. The rebellion had stopped. He was surprised, and right there, Stefano came to meet him. He said, I've stopped the bloodshed. Young people make mistakes. We've supported you. Mercy is justice. There was truth in his voice and peace in his intent. Castruccio listened without anger, without even a frown, then smiled and said, there will be justice. Bring the whole family to the palace. We'll sit down and reach an agreement. As he left, he said, thank God I've been given the chance to show mercy. Words like honey, intent like poison. That evening, the entire Poxio family arrived at the palace. The doors were shut, and so was their freedom. Everyone was taken prisoner. A few days later, one by one, everyone was put to death. Stefano, the one who spoke of peace, was the first to be silenced. The rule of dark power says that in politics it is not emotions, but only results that survive, and anyone who challenges authority is not forgiven. They are erased. Stefano di Boccaccio was not a man, but an idea that believed that if the cause was just, then the outcome would be just as well. But in the world of power, justice does not prevail. Intentions do not prevail. Only strength does. Yes, in history, at times the call for justice and gratitude has opened doors, but more often, that very call has led people straight into a trap. Stefano knew how Castraccio rose to the top, through deceit, through ruthlessness, through blood. He was no benevolent ruler. He was the very man who had his closest and most loyal friend killed. When he was told, "You killed your old friend," he replied coldly, "I did not kill a friend, I removed a new enemy." That is power's code language. People like that don't think in relationships, they think only in risk and gain. When the rebellion began, going to him to lay down arms and beg mercy was the most dangerous move, and even when Stefano made that mistake, the game wasn't over. He still had cards. He could offer money, make future promises, and explain that the Boccaccio family could still boost his power. Their ties with Rome's great houses, political influence, could be put on the bargaining table. Powerful marital alliances, everything could have been on the bargaining table. But what did he choose? Past favors, old loyalty, that kind of debt no one has to repay, is one of power's darker truths. Gratitude often feels not like a gift, but like a weight. He did the same thing. He chose the easiest way to free himself from the debt of favors. He wiped out the very people who had helped him. Remember, in dark politics, it's not loyalty to the past, but benefit in the future that matters. Those who don't understand this often don't survive, even if they're right. It was around 433 BCE, and the rumble of war was in the air. Across the land of Greece, the scent of conflict had already spread. On one side was the island of Corcyra, on the other was the city-state of Corinth. Tensions between them had risen so high that swords were nearly being drawn from their scabbards. But the real stake was not on the battlefield. It was in the court of Athens, because whichever side Athens chose to stand with would be almost certain to win, and there would be no mercy left for the losers. Both sent their envoys. Corcyra spoke first. Its envoy came to the platform with no emotional drama. He spoke plainly about relationships. "We've never helped you. We stood with your enemies. There's no friendship or debt of gratitude between us." The assembly fell silent. Then he made his next move, a direct, cold strategy. "I came here out of fear. I came for security. And in return, I offer an alliance of shared interest," he said. "Our navy is the strongest after Athens. If we stand together, even Sparta will tremble. No emotions, no morality, only advantage." Then the Corinthian envoy came. His voice was fire. His speech was full of emotion, and he recounted past favors and help. "Loyalty," he said. "We have always stood with Athens. If today you choose an old enemy and abandon a loyal friend, what will the other allies think?" He spoke of law, of justice, of gratitude. The words were beautiful and the feeling was deep, but the ears of power do not listen to poetry, they listen to calculation. In Athens' assembly, there was debate, there was weighing and bargaining. Emotions were set aside, and the decision came. Athens chose to stand with Corcyra and left Corinth. History called Athens great, but the truth is they were not sentimental. They were ruthless realists. The Corinthian envoy. It is not that listing old favors is really a form of hidden pressure, handing someone an invisible debt, and powerful people do not like debts. They do not care who did what yesterday. They care who is increasing their power today. Athens knew that even if other allies called them ungrateful, they would not break ties because relationships were bound not by loyalty, but by power. The hard rule says this: the weak live under the strong. Morality comes later, interests come first. When the choice is between a story from the past and a benefit in the future, a practical person always chooses the future, and that is exactly. In my view, most people decide not with the heart but from self-interest. In a world of power, emotions may win speeches, but deals win the future advantage. So now you understand that asking for help is not a weakness, but asking for help in the wrong way is a conspiracy against yourself. In this whole game, what was the most dangerous illusion? It is that people will be influenced by your intentions. No, people are influenced by their own intentions. Your truth, your struggle, your loyalty, all of that matters, but only in your story. In the other person's world, their benefit, their fear, their goal, that is the real character. His aim is this very true character. The world of power is not close to the emotional, but it is definitely close to the naive. Remember, whenever you are standing in front of a powerful door, before you knock, do not think, "What do I need?" Think, "What does he need?" That is the turning point where ordinary people make requests and players design outcomes. You do not have to be clever every time, but you do have to be aware every time, because relationships built on pity break at the first jolt. Relationships built on benefit play the long game. And yes, there is a dark side to this knowledge too. You can use it to manipulate people, or to protect yourself from being manipulated. You can grab the lever of someone's mind, or stop someone from grabbing your lever. The choice is yours. True power comes from looking at yourself before trying to bend someone else. next time someone asks you for help, do not listen to their words, listen to their frame. Are they speaking to your self-interest, to your image, your greed, your hunger for greatness? You will understand immediately whether they are a player or a beggar. And next time you need help, do not send your story, send your proposal. Do not show your pain, show that, because in this world, empathy knocks on the door, self-interest opens the door. But one final warning, if you turn every relationship into a deal, then one day you will have deals, but no relationships. So wisdom is not about applying self-interest everywhere. Wisdom is recognizing where to apply it. Power does not mean using everyone. Power means understanding every game. If what I said today has changed your way of thinking even a little, if you can now see the hidden math behind what people say, if you're starting to understand that, if this resonates with you, then don't stop this journey here. On this channel, we don't give surface level motivation. We open up the engine of human behavior. Dark psychology, power, dynamic influence patterns, mind control tactics, emotional intelligence, everything gets dissected here. If you want to be a reader of the game, not part of the crowd, please subscribe right now, press the bell icon and like the video so this knowledge also reaches the people who are still knocking on the wrong doors. In the comments, write lever if you understood today's core principle and tell me in which situation you will apply this strategy the most. Will you use it? Remember, the world doesn't change. The world is read, and the one who learns to read it is the one who can shape it as well. I'll see you in the next breakdown, and until then, don't go by what people say. Look at what they need. That's where the real key stays hidden.